and I spent the entire 14 hours trying to catch Azelf.
I want something for Dugong, okay? Dugong has nothing. I don't know if it's a surprise to anyone, but in my experiences of traveling with stuff of anime, she is very directionally challenged.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Baton Pass. V is once again trying to make me die laughing instead of introing this episode. Hello, everyone. I'm Steph, of course, with my co-host.
Hello, everybody. Woohoo!
Whoa! V, I'm so happy to be back here with you. Happy Pokemon Day, everyone. Gosh, it's Christmas round 2 for all of us.
Literally, if you're a Pokemon fan, this is truly our Christmas. Whatever news that we got today, you're probably watching this right after Pokemon announcements. Oh, you must feel so good right now. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure we're going to feel even great, but we're recording this ahead of time. So you know
That's
what?
right, because we know that on this day that this episode is out, we're going to either be streaming or reacting or YouTubing or doing a million other things or just screaming into the void
celebrating.
About what's going on.
Yeah,
yes, celebrating
literally.
What's going on. Also, Seattle regionals are this upcoming weekend. So there's also the broadcast that's going to be starting up on the weekend. I'll be there in case anybody is listening to this and I was like, wait, I'm listening to this from my Seattle hotel. Come say hi.
There you go. Let's go. And good luck to any competitors, TCG, VGC, and Go, who are going to be competing in Seattle regionals. I will be watching comfortably in my home.
Yes. So we figured it's Pokemon Day. We've got to go back, reflect, go back through our memory lane with some of our favorite memories from Pokemon over the last 30 years. What the heck?
Absolutely.
But before that, we start every podcast episode with just catching up and actually very relevant to Pokemon. We just came back from Pokemon Go Tour in LA, which is a really fun in-person Pokemon Go event. And you know what? Even though we saw each other, V, we didn't get to reflect on it. So
I agree.
V, how was your Go Tour that you were at?
Honestly, this Go Tour was super fun. I am a huge fan of the Kalos region, so having Pokemon Go Tour be centered around Kalos, I was like, this is my time. This is my I'm levitating. I'm so excited to get all the shinies ever. I think in total I got 19 shiny Pokemon, which is very, very cool. Some of them were actually brand new to the event, so I think Honedge was very brand new to the event, so I ended up getting that. That's huge. No Xerneas or Yveltal, which makes me a little sad.
Oh, you didn't get either of them?
Nah, but that's all right. That's okay. Listen, I will live. I got my Honedge. I'm very, very happy. And I decided, Steph, I have a new goal in Pokemon Go where I'm going to be getting every shiny fur fruit trim, but as a lucky shiny, which requires a lot of trading. I ended up getting 3 of the rarest trims in the game. So I got the Pharaoh trim, the Laren trim, and the Kabuki trim.
Nice.
The next rarest one is the Heart trim, so I got to figure out who got that as shiny so I can trade with them. But otherwise, I want to get the entire shiny fur fruit set as lucky in Pokemon Go. That is my goal. So I'm very excited. But how was your shiny haul? Actually,
every time I got a shiny fur fruit, I was like, I'm happy. I'm so sorry, V.
Guys, whenever the people in my surroundings who played Pokemon Go Tour with me ended up getting shiny Furfrus, I caught one. I caught one.
Oh, man, it's tragic.
I felt like, what's his name? Is his name Shinji in Evangelion in the chair? That was me the entire weekend. I was so sad, but it's okay.
I think this was genuinely my best Go Tour haul in terms of shinies.
Ooh,
43 fun. Shiny Pokemon.
Dang! Oh my gosh! All right, well, I got 19. You know what?
And and the thing is, it's not like, I mean, they're good shinies. My first shiny was the shiny hat Pikachu with the because it's whose hat was the Kalos.
Is it Callum or Serena?
I got both. I got both shiny Pikachus with each different hat.
This is huge for the Serena for you, because don't you cosplay Serena all the time? That's
Okay,
great.
so this weekend I was cosplaying the ZA protagonist, and I didn't think to bring Serena for Go Tour, and I should have.
Oh, that was your moment. Ah,
I
it's
should
okay.
have.
It's okay.
I forget if I got to tell you the story of running into the Rust Syndicate cosplayers. Did I get to tell you?
No.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So this is just to show how fun Go Tour was on my side. I was the ZA protagonist. And so these two grunts, like they were Rust Syndicate grunts, like walked up to me and they started like repeating the script of like when you run into like a grunt, you know, they're like, it's time to battle or whatever. And they say a sentence and whatnot. And they start playing music. And so then I start joking back, thinking this is all just like a fun like skit. So I'm like, I look up and I'm like, it's daytime though. There's no battle zone. And then they're just like, but then they shove a QR code in my face, and then I'm like, wait a minute, is this like a real PvP battle in Go? And they're like waiting for me to respond. I look back at the friends I'm with and I'm like, I've never done a Go PvP battle before. I haven't even done any of the level ups. Like I just gave up after level 43. Like I never did Great Battle League. I never did any of this stuff. Yeah. And so I do my first ever PvP battle with these cosplayers who are in character the whole time. So when I scan my QR code, they change the music to the battle like Rust Syndicate theme. It was so sick. It was so cool.
That is so cool. Did you win?
I did. I did. It was so close. But like, I'm talking when they, like, whenever I would like do an attack and they use their shield, they would go like, not this time. Like it was full LARP energy. It was awesome.
I really hope you took pictures of them. I want to see.
Shout out to Gabby who recorded it for me.
Oh,
so
this is
it's
huge.
going to be in my vlog when I get to, maybe that'll be out. Oh, but no promises. Will that be out by the time? Maybe not, but keep an eye on my channel for that. But, that was just pure convention, like event energy. That was so wholesome. It was so cool.
Fun. That actually reminds me of well, I was with you when you found, or I found the Hisui protagonist trainers.
Yes.
So you were the ZA. You guys were the ZA protagonist trainers, and you guys took a picture together. And I was just like, come on, these are the Legends protagonists. You guys have to take a picture together. It was perfect.
So it was so wonderful.
Go Tour is so fun.
Nice too. Oh, everyone was great.
Yeah. Did they break character at all? Like, did you win the battle and then they were like, all right, well,
I won the battle and they played the defeat music. Like they had music like on the ready, and then they did the pose like when they like leaned down.
Yeah, yeah.
So awesome.
My gosh. So not dressed up as Corbeau, dressed up as
the
Rust
grunts,
Syndicate.
Rust Syndicate grunts.
That's insane.
It was epic. It was
I wish
so
I could have
epic.
seen it. Oh my gosh.
And I don't even think this person had a social media following. Like I think they were just for the love of the game. Just the love of the game. It was so
incredible.
Wholesome.
I wish I could, like, a part of me was like, man, I should have cosplayed, but we were running around. It was actually crazy. Yeah, my wife was actually the DJ for Mega Night, which was crazy during Pokemon Go Tour Kalos. Mega Night was very, very fun. That debut for Shiny or Mega Dragonite, the debut was incredible. The electricity was in the air, and my first raid was the Shiny Dragonite.
You got it right away, first raid?
First raid Shiny Dragonite with the background. I ended up trading it for the Furfroos, one of the Furfroos, but I gave it to a friend who couldn't get it over the weekend, and that's his favorite Pokemon. His favorite Pokemon's Dragonite. And I was like, you know what? You're gonna appreciate more than me, and I'm gonna appreciate this Furfroo probably more than you will.
Yes.
So it was an equivalent exchange. Shout out to FMA. It was good stuff. So but I got the glory of getting it first rate. I was like one and done. Easy, the easiest thing. How was your Mega Night? Was it fun, or was it just like,
because of the epic music that was there. I mean, that part of it. I will say the first night I had a little bit of glitchiness with some of the raids, like when Mega Dragonite it could have just been my phone though, because everyone else seemed to have no problems. It could have been the Verizon rip.
Oh no,
my service. I'm not sure, but the first time when Mega Dragonite, I was only able to get 2 Dragonite raids because then my phone just wouldn't cooperate. So I was like, but then the second night that was there, that was really good for me because I got the Hundo. I got Hundo Dragonite with. Did I get background on it? I don't remember if I did. Let me see if I did.
I ended up getting a hundo Salamence Mega Knight. It wasn't shiny or anything, but like a hundo, which is funny because I have for context for the people, I have a gaming journal bingo board for the year, and one of the blocks in the bingo board was catch a hundo, and so I caught a hundo during the weekend, so I was able to cross that off my bingo board for the year. So that's great.
Yep, my perfect Dragonite has the background from Go Tour. So
yeah, you won.
Very happy.
Yeah, you won. That's very good.
that was very Oh, I also got a shiny Charizard from the Go Tour Battle Pass that was max because they gave you a free Battle Pass if you had a ticket to the event.
Yeah,
and you got the 3 Kanto starters, but they were maxed out on their Mega Energy, so you don't normally you have to Mega Evolve them like 20 times or something to max out their energy, which costs the dust or whatever it is. Sorry, Mike, I didn't mean to hit it. Boing.
No, it's okay.
But anyway, but I just got shiny Charizard and it's all maxed out, so I never have to evolve it ever or Mega Evolve it other than when I need it. So
what was like your number one, like what was the best thing that you've gotten, like in your opinion, that you were like, oh yeah, this one Go Tour Kalos for me? For sure.
That's a great question because there's so many things I really liked.
Because the thing is, what's really cool is that you could probably, I don't know if you're super attached, but you could best buddy that shiny Serena Pikachu, and I feel like that would be perfect for your your character. Like how little best buddy ribbon on it, and it can hang on your shoulder. Yeah. Like that would be so cute with the Serena hat. But I don't know, whatever.
Ooh, true. Yeah, that's definitely a cute one for me. You know what? Maybe I should. Currently, my buddy is Cubfu because I'm trying to get it to evolve. I did not get enough raids to evolve it yet.
Understandable.
Well, I honestly really like this shiny Xerneas. Shiny Xerneas is there for me, and that was like one of my first raids.
That's really
honestly,
cool.
I really enjoyed the. I'm sorry to say this, the chase for the Furfroos was very fun.
How many did you end up getting?
If the podcast dies, it's because they disappeared.
It's because I'm angry. I'm so angry.
No. But I got 3. Okay. And so I was changing the forms as I got my shiny Furfrou. So I got 1, 2. I mean, I didn't get enough to complete it, but the thrill of that chase was very fun.
I kept telling people, I was, for those of you listening, I was literally telling like all of my mutuals about it. I'm like, you have to do this timed Furfrou quest. I feel like no one would have cared about it unless I voiced it.
You were the voice of reason. It was very fun. And mine is having to run back sometimes if I missed spinning the stop. I caught the Furfrou and I'm like, oh, I didn't spin the stop. Oops, gotta go all the way back, or I didn't complete the step. But what are
the trims that you got? Out of curiosity,
I have heart trim. Ooh. I have shiny heart trim. I have the French one, La Reine.
Yeah,
and then wait, did I get 4? Do I have Furfrou? Hold on. I thought I only had 3.
We're checking on this. I actually ended up getting, I think this was the new one, but the shiny Unknown X. I think that was the new one, right?
I don't have X. Yeah, I don't have shiny.
I have shiny Unknown X. I ended up getting that during the event, which was very fun.
JK, I have 4, not 3. I have Heart. I have Lorraine. I have Pharaoh, and then I have Kabuki form shiny.
Oh, huge! Yeah, you should hold on to those. You literally have the rarest trims.
I think that's what I did. I was like, I want to make sure that they're all fun.
Because it's like, I don't see myself, because for those of you who don't know, the Furfrou trims are locked to like geographical locations. So Kabuki trim is locked to Japan. La Reine is locked to Paris. And Pharaoh's locked to like Egypt or Greece, is one of those. But like, I'm not flying to Egypt anytime soon, so I was just like, I have to change this from this trim to the Pharaoh. And I feel like the Europe ones, I think I can either get them because there's actually a lot of European Go players, and or I could probably fly to Europe more likely than Egypt. So that's the vibe for me when it comes, and then I can get the US or the NA trims anytime. So
I think I hoarded a bunch of the just regular Furfrou forms in case anyone ever needs it one day. You know what? I also got to trade a friend an origin form Palkia, which I have been hoarding these Palkia. I think I have like 30 of them from the previous Go Tour event from Sinnoh Go Tour.
Yeah.
And I think they have the best adventure effects. That's one thing I miss. If I had constructive feedback about Go Tours, that event was amazing, super fun. I got the best shinies I've gotten all weekend. However, I miss the adventure effects that felt like really impactful. I was talking with someone about this, like how cool would it have been if like Xerneas had like a help you hatch eggs faster effect because it's the
'cause it
Pokemon
gives
of life.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought for Yveltal, like you can get double candy when you transfer Pokemon for 10 minutes or something for the
come
because
on.
Pokemon don't die. But I was like, that would be so cool. Just something that, because I use Origin Form, Dialga, and Palkia all the time. Like the effects of that Go Tour still like linger for me. And so
actually, I think Free Shock is the other good one too from Kyurem. I think it's either Kyurem Black or Kyurem White. So Free Shock makes it so that you basically get excellent catches like a lot easier.
Oh wait,
like
really?
Like the circle, they like instantly like make it shrink so that, you know, instead of like waiting for like the, you know, how it gets bigger and then it gets smaller.
Oh, you could just instant throw it.
You can just throw it and it's like it's already a small circle. So it's like you just have to aim it right and then you basically get an X. I think that's what Free Shock does. I don't know. Someone can correct me on that, but I think Free Shock is the other good one. So yeah,
that's very cool.
So 3 really good adventure effects. Everything else is just kind of like
right.
But I like the idea about Xerneas and Yveltal. We should do that. What the heck?
Right?
Oh my gosh. But yeah, Go Tour was so fun, everybody. It was literally a blast. I truly think, this is just my opinion, but I prefer Go Tours over Go Fests. I still will be going to Go Fest no matter what, because that's just like the big event for the year. But Go Tours is just so fun. I love the themed Pokemon, like depending on the region. If it goes in order, like next year will be Alola, which would be super duper fun. So I'm looking forward to the next one, 100%.
You know, I didn't think about with the timing of Pokemon games. Will Go Tours catch up? Will they catch up? And then will we have a waiting period? I wonder what's going to happen. I mean, for now we have gens, we have buffer.
We have some time. We have some time before they start panicking. Like, do they reset back to Kanto? Go Tour Kanto 2, everybody.
Yeah, that's true. But you know, okay, so that's basically our Go Tour experience. But I think that's a great segue from Go Tour to just general Pokemon anniversary talk. Oh my gosh, V! 30 years. How much of your life has Pokemon been a part of? Like since birth? When did you get into Pokemon?
I want to let you know, Pokemon helped me. Pokemon Red, I got Pokemon Red. I still have my cartridge. But that helped me to read. Like because I actually learned to read pretty early on in my, you know, when I was a baby toddler. I don't know. I learned to read pretty fast. And so my parents just gave me games that just had like a lot of text, and they're gamers at heart. So it's like they taught me like The Legend of Zelda and stuff like that. And at the time, Pokemon was very new, and they were just like, it's a Nintendo game, you know, here, this is for you. And they didn't know that was going to shape my entire personality. So, so yeah, Pokemon Red helped me to read. Granted, didn't have the greatest comprehension. It was very new. Like that was my first JRPG, right? When you think about it in the context of it. So it's just craziness. So that was my first game, and it's been a wild ride ever since. That wasn't your first game. It wasn't Red and Blue, right?
No. Yeah. Well, so I've been thinking about this. I had a Nintendo 64, but I didn't have a game. Like I didn't have handhelds until much later. So technically, my first Pokemon game was probably Pokemon Stadium on the N64 because we were a consoles family.
Yeah.
I played so much Pokemon Stadium 1.
Me
I
too.
never had Pokemon Stadium 2.
Me
I don't
either.
think I knew that existed. So Pokemon Stadium 1, I'm expert mode. I can play all of those.
Listen, I can wreck you in I'm not even joking. I will probably wreck you in the Clefairy memory game. Clefairy memory game. I got you on that. I got you on the Lickitung merry-go-round.
Oh my gosh.
Easy.
I as a kid, the Ekans throw was like my favorite. I think that's where I shine.
You will probably wreck me with that one, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not good with the stick throwing and stuff. It's not fun.
Yeah. But so then my first of the main series games was actually Fire Red, Leaf Green, which now it coming to Switch 2 is
circle.
very fun. Very fun. But Fire Red is where I got my first shiny Pokemon. We'll talk about that.
No way.
Oh yeah, I got my first shiny in Pokemon Fire Red.
What?
Yeah. Maybe I should just tell it to you now. But this whole podcast, everyone, is just going to be us nerding out about
We're
Pokemon.
We're going to be
and
nerding out about Pokemon. You guys let us know your memories if you guys are watching on YouTube in the comments. But yeah, it's just big reminiscing over the 30 years. Like, again, I've been a Pokemon Red player. Like, that was my first Pokemon game ever.
Yeah.
Got Pokemon Stadium, like you said.
Yeah.
We had a Nintendo 64, and it's just been a ride
ever
since. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, I have photos of me at 2 years old holding a Pikachu plush. So I've always had Pokemon merch. I wish I don't have any photos that exist. Like they're physical photos. They're not digitized. They're older photos. But Pikachu has like always been in my life since childhood. Like for me, it was definitely not a slow burn, as it were. Like I had Pokemon, I loved it. I made friends by doing pretend Pokemon battles on the playground growing up. But was it the same for you, where you were like, yep, this is gonna be in my life, and like you were obsessed since the beginning?
Absolutely. Personality for the rest of my life. I do have a childhood photo of me. I believe I couldn't tell you where we were flying to, but we were definitely in an airport. My mom told me we were in an airport, and I had like a satchel with all of my Game Boy Color games. So it was just like a bag with all Game Boy games, and you see me with a red Game Boy with Pokemon Red on it. And I think at the context was my mom was calling me over for like a photo, and I had like a mean mug face. I had like a, why are you talking to me? I'm busy at the moment, like playing Pokemon at the moment. So I just had like this mean mug face, but like that is one of like the earliest photos of me with Pokemon for sure. It was just me playing this game at the airport, just waiting to board and stuff. It was fun. I will say most of my memory does go to Pokemon Stadium for sure. I was that person that just used the rental Pokemon the entire time, was trying to get through the gym leader castle. I don't think I ever made it past like Koga. I don't think I ever made it past Koga, and that was it in the gym leader castle. And actually, when it came out on NSO on the Switch, I ended up playing through it, and I made it to Mewtwo, like with rental Pokemon. And it was super fun. I was like, it's been like over 20 years, and I finally found closure.
You got closure.
And I beat Pokemon Stadium, but then round 2 appeared, and I was like, okay, I'm not doing that.
I'm over this now.
Yeah, it was fun.
Oh my gosh.
It was a good time.
Oh, that's awesome. So I guess, you know what, since we were talking about it before, I'll tell you the story of my first shiny Pokemon.
Please
and then if you remember yours, I want you to tell me yours after this. But
I do remember.
So for me, it was in Pokemon Fire Red, and I believe I was in Cerulean Cave, and it was a Psyduck. I remember, and at the time I didn't really know what shiny Pokemon were, but I was like, this Psyduck is blue. I was like, what? And so then I caught it, and I was so happy. I was like, this Psyduck is awesome. And then I think there was early internet, by that point, early 2000s. So like I looked it up, and then I learned what shiny Pokemon were. And I'm like, this is awesome. And I'm like, I wonder what Golduck's going to be. My biggest regret of my childhood was evolving the shiny Psyduck into Golduck. And I'm like, why isn't shiny Golduck gold? Tragic.
That's a good idea.
Okay, in my opinion, on the Fire Red leaf green graphics, the shiny Golduck is like not it. Like you can barely tell. Yeah. So then I eventually transferred that Psyduck / Golduck to my Pokemon Diamond game once I had that in like whatever 2006.
Sure.
And so I had that, and then my Pokemon Diamond got stolen.
I was literally about to ask you, do you still have the shiny Golduck to this day? No. This is so sad.
My brother's friend, you know who you are. If you ever listen to this one day, you stole my Pokemon Diamond.
She wants it back. You coward. Yeah. Give it back. Oh, that's awful. Oh, I will tell you my tragic story when we get to 5th gen.
Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy times. My first shiny Pokemon was actually in Kalos.
Oh, really? Oh my gosh.
I was playing, it was in, the one that I remember. If I ever got a shiny Pokemon in the past, I definitely don't remember it at all.
Yeah.
First core memory shiny was in Pokemon Y. I was doing a Nuzlocke because Nuzlocking was like the thing that you do in around 6th gen and stuff. But I wasn't streaming this. It was definitely just playing on the side kind of vibes. And it was a bear tick. I was in the ice cave or whatever.
Yeah. Good. So it was during your playthrough, or
yes,
were you
it was
shiny hunting?
in my playthrough.
That's awesome.
My playthrough, and I was just like, it sparkled. I clearly remember I was in like my parents' living room. It was like dinner time. Like I had finished eating, and then I just saw the sparkles on the bear tick, and I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. I still have it to this day, and it is named Klondike. After the Klondike box.
That's awesome. No way.
Yeah, I still have it. So
is it in your home right now? Is it Pokemon home?
It's in my Pokemon home, but here's the thing. So the meme is that it doesn't have my in-game trainer name, because I used to do headcanons of like, this is my Nuzlocke journey. This trainer's name is this name. And so I think her name was Tanisha or something like that. Like I forgot my trainer's name at the time. But yeah, so it is a legit shiny bear tick that I caught. It just doesn't have my name on it. Which is that's the only thing. But it's fun. Yeah.
That's so I love it. I love it. And for context for everyone, we thought for this podcast, how fun and thematic would it be if we literally go gen by gen, thinking about our favorite memories with Pokemon. So starting with our first shiny felt very appropriate, but going into Gen 1, you said Pokemon Red, V, was your first game. Do you have like a standout just memory that when you think back to your first playthrough you ever did, just something that you're like, yeah, that was either it evoked good feelings or frustrating feelings or just something.
Well, actually, so one of my favorite Kanto Pokemon ever is Wartortle. I've had in the Pokemon TCG, when we, back when the base set, came out or whatever, I had this Wartortle card. Absolutely loved it. In Pokemon Red, I was an impressionable child, and I thought you had to pick Charmander because Charizard is on the box. So,
oh no!
So I'm picking Charmander, and I'm in the middle of Brock's gym, and I'm struggling, struggle city. At the point, I'm a kid, and I'm just like, I've had it. I've had it. I am not picking Charmander anymore. So I picked Squirtle. Mm-hmm. And so I breezed through Brock, and now I'm actually playing through the game. And I ended up getting Wartortle. And, granted, it's older sprites, but I was like, Wartortle's the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. It's like, and I had the card too, so I actually had more context of what it actually looked like. And I was just like, Wartortle is the coolest guy. Yeah. And I'm like, what is it going to evolve into? This is like so cool. And then I evolved it. Gen 1 sprites are not very kind to some Pokemon. So when I was a child, I thought Blastoise was the ugliest Pokemon I've ever seen. Like, I thought it was truly the biggest downgrade ever. No. To the point where I hit New Game because I evolved it to Blastoise, and I thought that was it. There was nothing I could do. And I wanted Wartortle back. Wartortle back.
Rip Blastoise. Where's Eviolite Wartortle at?
Granted, now in further generations, like we got G-Max Blastoise, Mega Blastoise, coolest things, coolest design. I think G-Max Blastoise is the coolest design they've ever done for G-Max. But back in the day, I thought Blastoise was not very appealing.
Did you watch the anime alongside playing the games, or did you have the games like as a separate experience before watching the anime?
Games was a separate experience, for sure. I think by the time the anime came out, I think I was heading into Pokemon Crystal and like that kind of stuff. I think that's when I started like really delving into anime stuff. So it was very separate. But,
okay, because I think I liked Blastoise from the anime. So I think for me, there were a lot of Pokemon in my early experiences where I'm like, oh, the anime makes this Pokemon. Like I loved Vulpix and Ninetales because of that one episode in the anime where the Ninetales is like a 1,000 years old or something. I don't know. It's like a very old Ninetales or something like that.
Is that your favorite Gen 1 Pokemon? Ninetales?
It used to be Flareon. It used to be Flareon. I've always loved the evolutions. But Ninetales was definitely top 3. Okay. Ninetales has always been top 3. Yeah. Also because I'm the biggest weeb of all time. So, I always named my Ninetales Naruto because I'm like the nine-tailed fox. My gosh.
That's fair.
So, yeah. But yeah, who's your favorite Gen 1 Pokemon?
Wartortle. But it's also Top 3, Wartortle, Electrode. I love Electrode so much. You could see the Hisuian Voltorb right here behind me if you guys are watching this on YouTube. And I would say number 3, hold on, I gotta think about this. Bellsprout.
Oh yeah, Bellsprout.
Yeah, I love Bellsprout. He's like the funniest looking guy. I'm so happy Victory Bell got a Mega years later. It's like a whole thing. I'm really hopefully, I don't know if we're gonna get another gen. Who knows? Today they might have announced a new generation. I have no idea.
Oh my gosh.
But it would be cool. There's some Gen 1 Pokemon that still don't have the love. They don't got the love, and it seems like we're getting close to all 150 Pokemon getting some sort of buff, some sort of like gimmick thing. Like, for example, Voltorb got a Hisuian form. Tentacool got a Toadscool variant or whatever. I want something for Dugong. Okay?
Ooh,
Dugong has nothing.
Yeah.
We need an evolution. We need something for Dugong, please. Something has to happen. Like,
true.
Electabuzz got an evolution. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so many of these Gen 1 Pokemon got something. Dugong, nothing. No one cares about Dugong. That's all I'm
trying to think who else. I thought about Venomoth, but I don't really care if Venomoth gets something or not.
I don't think Venomoth has anything either.
I agree. Dugong I love Dugong growing up. Dugong was definitely a top water Pokemon.
I'm saying, Misty.
Who's your favorite of the bird trio?
Zapdos, 100%.
Oh, Zapdos?
Yeah. It's funny because when Pokemon Go first came out, they were like, pick your team, Instinct, Valor, or what's the other one? Mystic. Yeah. And I wasn't a part of like the factions that there are now. And I was just like, literally, I was like, Zapdos is my favorite legendary out of these 3. Click. And I've been Instinct ever since.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. That's just my vibe. What about you? What do you like?
I always went back and forth between all of them. I think Articuno I really liked because ice types. But, I have some really fun memories of having to catch Zapdos for the first time because I was at summer camp and I couldn't figure out how to catch Zapdos. It was too hard. And so I asked my camp counselor to catch it for me. And oh my God. Little Steph was like, can you catch this Zapdos for me? And I remember she poisoned it. And I was like, what? I was like, but it's going to faint. And she's like, no, watch. And she poisoned it. And then she threw 5 Pokeballs. On the 5th Pokeball it caught because it was down to like the red. And I was like, wow, that's so cool. And so I'll never forget that camp.
That's core memory. I love that. Oh my God. Speaking of core memory, let's hop into Gen 2.
Yes.
With Gold, Silver, Crystal. Listen, core memory for me, like, okay, Pokemon Red got me my foundation for like reading and like actually comprehending words and stuff. Crystal, because I had Crystal, I didn't have Gold or Silver. Crystal was, the core memory was, are you a boy or are you a girl? Imagine me, I'm like, I could pick a girl. What? This is crazy. That was my core memory for Crystal. That was it. I was just like, girls can play Pokemon. It's a wrap. This is gonna be my personality forever. And nothing's gonna stop me. So I shout out to Chris from Pokemon Crystal.
Yes,
the OG character.
I have a really tragic Pokemon Crystal memory.
Oh, dude. Oh no.
It's tragic. So, does everyone remember the layout? I don't even remember I will say that Gen 2, geography-wise, is my weakest memory-wise.
Understandable.
And you'll see why in a second, because the first town, you might remember, there is a barrier, and there's 1 pixel to go north, to keep going north in the first town. There's one of those, you hop over the barriers, I forget what they're called, but you jump over it. Ledges, yes. There's a ledge with 1 pixel space for your character to fit through to go north, but it's on the leftmost side. If you see a map, you'll know. But little Steph, is it before or after? I think it was before the rival. I think you have to go up. Anyway, you're in the starter town.
Okay.
And you have to go north. And I could not figure out where to go north. in Pokemon Crystal because I was like, but there's a ledge here. And then I go to the left and then go to the right. And I could not leave the town where your home is in Pokemon Crystal. I spent like an hour being like going around the edges, but apparently not the right edge. And so I kid you not, my first Pokemon Crystal game, I couldn't leave the town, and I never played it again until it came to the 3DS on Virtual Console.
Oh, that's okay. So I don't know if it's a surprise to anyone, but in my experiences of traveling with stuff of anime, she is very directionally challenged.
Yes.
I did not know this dated so bad. For Pokemon Crystal. Wow. That's all I will say.
Rip Pokemon Crystal. So Gen 3, everyone. Wait, did you tell your Gen 2 story? No, you didn't tell your story.
When I tell, okay, I'll just be brief with Johto and then we'll move on. But Crystal was pretty impressionable on me. I'm not even gonna lie. Like Suicune, I have, when it comes to Suicune and Entei specifically because of the anime, because of the Entei movie.
I love the Entei movie.
Oh,
that's the thing. I love Johto. I just didn't actually play a lot of Johto until we'll get to Heart Gold Soul Silver. I love Heart Gold Soul Silver. Yeah. But that's the thing. I think most of my Gen 2 knowledge is from Heart Gold Soul Silver and not actually Gold and Silver.
That's fair. Yeah. No. Yeah. Back then, I was so enamored with Suicune back then. Like Suicune was like so, that was truly a time for me where Pokemon were truly mysterious. Like Suicune was like this ethereal god to me as a child. Like anytime it showed up, because like in the playthrough in the original Crystal, like Yucine would explore with, not explore with you, but it would be like, look at this magnificent Pokemon, and then like whenever Suicune would show up, it would just show up for a second and then it would like dart away and whatever, and I'm just like, I saw it for a second, like, you know, as a kid I'm just like, it's bruh, it was so crazy. Like when I talk, like nothing will match that feeling. Like, and then going to the is it called the Tin Tower? I forgot. It's one of the towers in Boutique, and then you encounter Suicune finally after so long. You defeat Team Rocket, you do all this stuff, and then you finally encounter Suicune. I was like, oh my gosh, this is and then like Suicune was like my number one, like during Johto and whatever. Like Suicune is truly like that legendary Pokemon that I just was so gravitated toward. And then Entei with the movie, I was like, oh my god, this is like the greatest trio ever. And then Raikou exists, I guess. Raikou
needs its own movie.
For real.
It needs a reason to love it.
It technically did get like an anime special. It did get an anime special, like with Ethan and like his Typhlosion and whatever. This was like a lot. If you know, you know. It was a very niche like anime special. But Raikou got something, I guess.
I mean, Raikou's other form is competitively viable. What's the one that gets Thunderclap?
Raging Bolt.
Raging Bolt. Raging Bolt gets some competitive love. There's Raikou's love.
Great, love that. But yeah, when it came to Crystal, Suicune, like that was so, and then the Unknown, like with the movie and stuff. So like Suicune and the Unknown are like so core memory integral. But that's my Gen 2 story. It was great. But yeah, let's move on to Gen 3 with Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald.
Yep.
What is your stories with Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald? Do you have any?
Yes. It's tragic. Again.
Why are all your Pokemon stories tragic?
I know. I'm so sorry.
Meanwhile, I'm like, impressionable childhood Pokemon is amazing. You're like,
okay, listen. There's the duality. Okay, so we had Fire Red, Leaf Green. That I was my first console Pokemon game, right? Eventually, I guess I didn't clarify this, that after I played Fire Red, Leaf Green, I did go back to play Gens 1 and 2.
I understand.
But it's not as memorable to me as, Gen 3, specifically with Fire Red, Leaf Green. So
I think Gen 3 is probably when you got your start in everything, you would say? Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
I think that's when I started to become like, okay, Pokemon fanatic minus Pokemon Stadium spam.
Understandable.
So, Fire Red, Leaf Green, I was, I was in it. I was obsessed, playing it constantly. Then I was like, I want to play Emerald. Green, one of my favorite colors, always has been. I was like, it's green. Rayquaza seems so cool. And so I bought my copy of Pokemon Emerald off of eBay for $5. And you might remember that I referenced this story once before. So I'll have you know that my first Pokemon Emerald game, I never got to finish because I could keep getting to the fourth gym badge, and then the game wouldn't save.
So you had to start from the beginning every time.
Yeah, so I played the first half of Emerald many times, but did I ever actually get to the very end of Pokemon Emerald? Nope, not until Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. So now it's weird now that I think about it, V. I have this pattern of the early games didn't work. And so when the remakes came out, I think it was really in that DS era and with Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire that I got my redemption of getting to appreciate it, even though it was a little bit different. So
for sure.
Yeah, my core memory is, why won't this game save? And then lesson to everyone at home: don't buy counterfeit games by accident when you wanted to buy the legit games. People lie on the internet. The end of story.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah. Well, interesting.
Yes.
I would say Gen 3 is pretty impressionable. I will say those are the games that I probably replayed the most. Like, I was one of those people. People are gonna hate me, but I was definitely one of those people that when I hit credits on a Pokemon game, I'm like, let's go again and hit new game. And so I would hit new game and just go through it again. I didn't really like stick with like a forever file, if that makes sense. Like when I got to credits, I was like, well, I don't want the story to end. Let's go back and do it over, That's what I did every time.
I applaud you for that. I could never restart. I actually still have a lot of my original DS games.
Good.
Even my Fire Red, I have my OG copy from, like, if I booted up on a Game Boy, it would work. And it
the
has
Fire Red copy, right? Yep. I still have mine too. So, and luckily, like, I didn't have any tragic stories like you. Luckily, I'm going to knock on wood right now. All of my cartridges work as intended, literally from the box, from opening and nothing horrible has happened to them, so that's very good. But I guess my most memorable, like, because again I reset all of my Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald games. I didn't play Sapphire, I played Ruby and Emerald. But my most core memories was in Pokemon Coliseum, unironically. Like, I have in 3rd gen, I probably spent the most time in the Ore region in Coliseum and XD, like with the shadow Pokemon and that's when it got to like the grittiness, like that. Those games are truly, I don't know if you've played them. But
my cousin had a GameCube, and so I never owned it to play through 100% of the way through, which is why I can't wait for a virtual,
virtual console. Yeah,
virtual console. Excited for it, but I did play it. Like I definitely, had Umbreon. Like I would do the double battle, so I have experience playing it, but it's very fuzzy. I know who Mirabee is, but it's fuzzy memories. I would like to replay it, and fully.
I really hope you enjoy it. That was truly, I really had like a true bond with Umbreon, with Pokemon Coliseum, and this was before the physical special split. So in reality, Umbreon was actually really horrible. Like, Umbreon was horrible, but because it was so tanky, it just stayed in my team forever, and I would just bite and crunch everything, even though it was not very good. But I didn't know that at the time. Like, who cares? I was just like, go use bite, and it was like level 65. It was. I truly, Umbreon and Espeon, I had like a really true bond playing through Coliseum with them. And then in XT you get Eevee, which you can evolve them into anything. So I think I evolved it into Jolteon because that's my favorite evolution is Jolteon. Man. And at the time I had brought that Umbreon up to like games further up. So like I brought it to like my Diamond and Pearl, which we'll get to 4th gen in a moment. And then I brought it up to Black and White, which we'll get to another story. But like I brought that Umbreon with me everywhere. That Umbreon is like true core memory vibes. from Coliseum. So it was good times. I'm really excited for you to play through Coliseum.
I know. I by the time this episode comes out, I'm hoping my hope for, we're not doing predictions for Pokemon Day because it'll be Pokemon Day when this comes out, but I'm like, please drop, say happy Pokemon Day. Here's
Coliseum and
XD.
Yep,
please.
yep.
That's what I'm hoping. So if that happens, once it's dropping, I'm streaming it, I'm playing it. I'm very excited.
It's very good.
Very hyped.
They get truly into like the dark stuff of it. Like Pokemon are attacking humans and it gets crazy. But yeah, 4th gen, Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, a lot of people's peak Pokemon times.
Yes, I think this is peak. I think I have the most memories. This is when I was so in. Like I was at my summer camps, not just with my Fire Red anymore, but I was making friends by literally going up to everyone. I was an avid underground enthusiast of Gen 4.
Oh, really?
I would get everyone to make a secret base underground.
Wow.
I was campaigning for flags to get Spiritomb the OG way with having 30 people, or 26 of them, the flag.
I've never done that before.
Really?
That's so cool. What?
Yeah.
Because I didn't really have a summer camp or anything like that.
I was obsessed with underground. I guess for me, it felt like with PictoChat and you had people getting, I don't know, for me, it was like a similar thing that PictoChat had for me, which is just get people just to be running around and stealing the flags. And so we'd all be in the same room and I would bring it to school and I would constantly be trying to make friends with whoever had a DS.
Oh, I might have to, I want to do that. I've never done that before. You might have to teach me the ropes on that because I got nothing.
Yeah. I'll have to refresh myself because it's been 15 plus years. But
I feel like you'll get back.
It'll come back.
For sure. Oh man, Gen 4 was really interesting because that was those were the first. Diamond was the first game I bought with my own money, so that was really exciting. I remember getting the DS stylus. Do you remember the stylus? With Dialga and Palkia on it? I don't have it anymore, but I got those. And I specifically have a memory of my dad was doing classes he was doing religious classes and stuff like that. So there was this is such a core memory stuff. It's gonna be so niche, but don't please bear with me.
I'm excited.
But there was this kind of retreat picnic. So I was at this retreat. I'm a kid, okay? I don't care about what they're talking about, religious whatever. I don't care. I'm in my Pokemon Diamond game. And I remember struggling so hard with the Elite Four. I remember specifically being in that picnic, trying to beat Aaron, losing to Bertha, so I had to go back again. And, I was, because I had Infernape, and so Bertha's Hippowdon would just destroy everything. I remember that was my first true test of difficulty. I didn't lose a lot in Coliseum, but it was still kind of difficult. But Diamond and Pearl, that really messed me up. Their Elite Four was so difficult for me back then. And I just remember being in that picnic specifically, everyone's talking, mingling or whatever. And I'm just Bertha, this is so hard. So and then getting to Cynthia, I was terrified because I was already I had 2 Pokemon left out of my 6 and I had to fight Cynthia and I was struggling. It was so hard.
I remember I did the trick, or not the trick, but I saved after each Elite Four member and mistakes were made that I saved right before Cynthia. And so, I ran out of healing items and, she destroys you. And so I think it took me 20 attempts or more, probably more. But I remember, I think I ended up, I don't know why. I guess when Pokemon games came out, I'm why do I remember either replaying or playing it the first time at summer camp? I was the kid who got sent, summer camp for the summer. So I'm why did I have so many memories at summer camp where I'm sitting there in the AC because I don't want to go outside and play ball or anything? I'm I want to play on my DS. But I had to keep redoing it because I had no healing items, but I thought, I don't want to redo it. I don't want to lose the money in the game. So I was I'm going to just keep, I kept it almost in not a Nuzlocke way, but the challenge of I have no healing items. I need to somehow beat Cynthia. And eventually I barely, with good RNG and with crits and whatever.
I think it was the crits. I won with crits too. I think it was a straight up close combat on my Infernape against her Garchomp and I critted. I was yes! Oh my God. But I remember, oh God, how terrified. Well, I don't know, was your memory of it, but fighting Cynthia. I had 2 Pokemon on my team, terrified, and she leads Spiritomb, a Pokemon I've never seen before, and I'm just like, I remember being like, oh my god, like I'm screwed. Like I'm like it's over. Like I'm actually gonna lose because I didn't know what that was. And nothing was super effective at the time. And I was just like, oh my gosh. Cynthia's iconic. She's iconic for a reason.
Yeah, she's iconic. I agree. I loved her. But the thing is I think that's what inspired me to get my own Spiritomb because I was like, what is this Pokemon? I need it. I was like, it's so cool. So then I was like, how do I get Spiritomb? And then like I had the guide, you know, the physical book, the guide.
Yeah, shout out to the physical guides.
Yeah, I had the physical guide. So I picked that up at like a GameStop or something. And so that told me about the like you can get all these, you know, get all your friends together underground. You can get Spiritomb, and I was like, oh, I need to do this immediately. So I think after I beat the game, that's what started my campaigning for everyone to be like, do you have an underground base yet? You should make it at summer camp and whatever. And I would get a whole bunch of people to do it. So,
yeah, actually, speaking of the game, guys, that just reminded me. Yeah, so I got Pokemon Emerald on my birthday. It released on the day of my birthday.
Really?
And my parents got me Emerald with the game guide, and they picked me up from school, and they were like, "Happy birthday! Check out that bag." And I got Pokemon Emerald, and I was just like, it was like the coolest thing. It was so cool. So that's another. I love Pokemon, you guys, and we're only in Gen 4.
I know. It's going so great. I have what you reminded me. I don't know. Your picnic story reminded me of my other core Gen 4 memory is catching Azelf because I was living in New Jersey at the time, but we were doing a road trip to South Carolina, 14 hours driving, right? All in one day. And I spent the entire 14 hours trying to catch Azelf because I was trying to do it in a timer ball.
Oh my gosh.
And I didn't know at the time how timer ball actually worked. So I was waiting until the Azelf would struggle and then struggle down and then throw the timer balls. Because remember, I saw that my camp counselor do the epic poison thing.
Yeah. So you were poisoning.
Like, poisoning it, which put everything on a timer. So it took me 14 hours. Like the whole road trip, I was sitting there because it needed to not only be caught, but caught in a timer ball. So I was like, it was such a bad combination. And eventually I caught it and I was like,
that's so specific. What the heck? Go. Oh my god.
It's so random.
Hard mode stuff. Is Azelf your favorite out of the trio?
No, it's Mesprit. I just wanted to give it a cool Pokeball, and I think I had done a different type for Mesprit and Uxie, but
Uxie is my favorite. I remember like that was true. That was Uxie was another Pokemon similar to Suicune because that was the first of the trio that I met. Yeah, and hearing that music the first time, I was like, oh my god! I was like, what is going on? Yeah. I was freaking out. It was a good time. It was a good time. Yeah, Uxie is definitely in that line of Suicune, but not as impactful, but like very much this is a god kind of Pokemon and I'm scared, and it's just it was so cool. Yeah, because they don't really talk much about the trio when you're playing.
No,
at least I don't think so.
I don't think so.
But yeah, what about Heart Gold Soul Silver? Because
I played that. So that is where I got to really like love and appreciate Gen 2, even though it's in this complicated space where it's technically Gen 4 because it had optimized type matchups and like quality of life updates. Yes. So it's technically a Gen 4 game. I love Heart. That's where for me I learned to love Lugia, Suicune, like all these things you were talking about in Gen 2. I was like, oh my god, incredible. Yeah.
Did you play Soul Silver specifically?
Well, I played Heart Gold at first. Okay. Eventually I got to play both, but it was tragic because I love Lugia from the movie. Yes. I was like, Lugia is the coolest. And so I went but I didn't pre-order it. So when I went to GameStop to get it, they only had Heart Gold in stock. All Soul Silvers were completely gone. But it worked out because you know what? Core memory, that's how Latias became my favorite legendary.
Oh, cool.
Was I got to find Latias through Heart Gold. So even though I was like, Ho-Oh's cool and all, and like, I mean, in Heart Gold, it's so beautiful. Like when you meet Ho-Oh.
When it goes up in the tower and
pretty,
stuff.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
So pretty. But getting to have Latias, I was like, okay, everything's great.
All is
Everything's
well.
great. I love this. Because then I found out that, oh, you can't get it in Soul Silver? It worked out. It worked out for the best. But yeah, what about, what's your Heart Gold Soul Silver era?
It's funny because I really don't have much. Truly, a lot of my core is from Gen 2. So like Heart Gold Soul Silver is truly just like a revisit. Like it was just like, oh yeah, this is good times. I did get more of a connection with Ho-Oh because of Heart Gold, like for sure. Yeah. Like the whole kimono girls like doing the dance. Yeah. And, like that was like I think that's like a 2-minute like cutscene when like Ho-Oh flies down and stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is so crazy. I'm starting to get more of a core memory of it now because I'm starting to shiny hunt in those games in Heart Gold Soul Silver. Yeah. So I'm starting to get more of an appreciation, especially with I didn't do the Safari Zone. You know what I did the most in Heart Gold Soul Silver?
What?
The Pokeathlon. I did a lot of that.
I remember that. I liked that too. That was so fun.
I was so obsessed with the Pokeathlon in Heart Gold Soul Silver. Like, I really hope that they bring more like kind of like mini games back. Like, I was really into contests. In Emerald, and I did in Coliseum. It's called Mount Battle. It's just a battle gauntlet, but like it was a lot of side content, like doing stuff on the side. I was really into that stuff, so I really hope that they do that more in the future. Yeah. But yeah, Pokeathlon, I was obsessed. I was obsessed, girl.
So good.
It was really bad.
It really gets me. It makes me appreciate, even just with us talking about this, that remakes ultimately end up being someone's first foray into that generation. Like, I think if Heart Gold Soul Silver didn't happen, I would know very little about Gen 2, even though they're not, there's technical differences between the two. Yeah. I feel grateful that let me have an experience with Gen 2,
That's
and
cool.
so I'm glad that we get remakes so that future generations can have that experience too,
Absolutely. But yeah, Gen 5.
Yes, let's go Gen 5.
So this is my first tragic story. First tragic story. This is truly... Steph, you're not ready. I told you about this Umbreon. I told you about like this, I had my Infernape. My Infernape is the first Pokemon I ever got to level 100. Yeah. All of these iconic Pokemon, this Suicune from, well, actually I didn't bring up the Suicune from Gen 2. That's not possible. But you know what I'm trying to say. All these memories from these old Pokemon, I brought them up, and I brought them all up to Gen 5, and that was my forever file. I did never hit New Game on my original my original White game. Yeah. Because I put all my Pokemon in there. Right. And if I hit New Game, they would all disappear. Right. And so I'm like, well, this is my forever file. Truly forever. All of my guys are here. I will never replay Pokemon White again. Yeah. At the time, I was working at the Disney store in Times Square. And in Times Square, it gets pretty hectic, very busy. Yeah. And there was one of the days where I was late to work and I had to run. And I would have all of my game cartridges in my back pocket. And one of the shifts, I went on lunch break and I was like, time to boot up my Pokemon White. Where's my White cartridge?
Oh no! I'm hurt. I'm so hurt by the tragedy.
No. Yeah, so all of those Pokemon, my Umbreon from Coliseum, my low 100 Infernape, everything disappeared when I lost my Pokemon White cartridge.
No! I'm crying.
This was before Pokemon Bank and before all of that stuff. So
it was right before, because it came a little bit late. No, when Pokemon Bank came out, did you have feelings? Were you like...
Yeah, I was a little salt. I was a little salt.
Oh man, just barely missed Pokemon Bank. Yeah. Oh, but even then, I think, well, yeah, because I guess then you wouldn't have needed the cartridge, but yeah, it's never fully safe. Oh no.
Yeah. So it was definitely one of those, and we'll get to it in X and Y, but I truly had like a reset point. That was my reset point in Black and White. Because I had to start over. I had nothing. Yeah.
Did that affect your decisions to keep Pokemon going forward, or were you able to shake it off and say, I'm still gonna, collect and move up my Pokemon?
I was definitely devastated, but with Black and White, because they were all new Pokemon, I didn't really have like the older like guys, and I didn't want to like go through Coliseum again and bring everything up. I still have my Coliseum disc, and I can technically do it all again, but a part of me was very defeated and did not want to do all that stuff. But yeah, exactly. I did not want to do that stuff again. So I just started fresh from Black, White, and Black 2, White 2 is when I really got back into it. So Black 2 White 2, I remember that there's a core memory with that. But explain one of your, do you have a story for Black 2 White 2?
I mean, okay, fun, weirdly from thinking about my core memories with Black and White, it unlocked a Heart Gold Soul Silver, but I'm going to tie it in with Black and White regionals. One of my first regionals that I went to without knowing what a regional was back, and this was probably 2000. So my first regional I went to, I think, was for Heart Gold and Soul Silver in 2010.
Sure.
Regionals. There was a regional where you got a shiny Eevee for attending. And so I brought my in-party team to a regional in 2010. It was a New Jersey regional. But this is why when I went on my competitive arc, when I said Portland was my first actual regionals, because the actual one I knew what was going on. But I had technically been to a regional, but I didn't. I literally brought an in-party team, got a shiny Eevee, and then made a bunch of friends. But I really remember the Gen 5 event that I went to, because all I did was sit in a 3-hour line and talk to people about Pokemon while we wait to get in. And because it was so different. Now you can go in, you can sit, at regionals, it's exploded. But this was just so grassroots. It was so grassroots. And you had to wait. And then only for, it was a best of one battle. So then I got knocked out round one. But I was still I just remember that I think I accidentally Eevee trained my Samurott in defense or something. Because I was battling my round one opponent. And they did a super effective hit that only got me down to half HP on my Samurott. I don't remember who they had, but all I remember is that this guy looks at me and he's like, "Did you train your Samurott in max defense? Because it should not have been able to tank that much damage." And I'm just this kid being like,
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what's going on. And so I think it was through then towards the end of Black White 2, probably. Maybe this was Black and White 2. I don't know. 2011. I don't know what year, which Black and White that was.
Yeah.
But that got me started to be interested, what are EVs? What are IVs? What is all this?
Wow, really?
So then, while I didn't compete ever again after that Black and White event, I was a fan of watching. And I would say this will lead us into Gen 6. We'll talk about it in a bit. But Gen 6, end of Gen 5 into Gen 6 is when I learned to become a fan of competitive Pokemon and be in the community just as somebody watching, as just a fan of it and stuff.
That is very cool. Oh my gosh. But what was the story about Heart Gold Soul Silver? What was that?
Oh, I think that was my first I think that was the game the first regional. So technically it wasn't my first. That was technically the second regional I went to 2 regionals that I brought my in-party team to get the rewards, the in-game special celebration rewards for going, because they were officially sanctioned at the time. So there was an Eevee, which sadly also got stolen, I think, because I think, could you bring Heart Gold Soul Silver Pokemon into Platinum? Or was it one way?
That I don't know. I have no idea. I couldn't give you a concrete knowledge. I'm not sure. That sounds right to me, but
someone can let me know. Actually, it's really funny because Gabby and I have talked about it, and Gabby was at that. Yeah, our first podcast guest, Gabby, was at that regional that I went to, but we didn't know each other.
Wow,
we didn't know each other then.
Wow, small world,
crazy small world moment. Who would have known that 10 years later we'd become such good friends?
This makes me think about our con stories that we might have passed each other at New York Comic Con or something like that. Isn't that crazy? This is so weird stuff. That's really interesting. And I kind of have regrets of I didn't really go to those, for example, my wife would tell me that she would go to Toys R Us to get event Pokemon and stuff like that. I didn't really get into event Pokemon stuff until really Gen 6, if you want me to be honest. But I do have a memory from Black 2 White 2. This was basically launch weekend, and it was during a New York Comic Con. And so I was at I was at Nintendo New York or something. I think it was Nintendo New York at that time. And there was a bus that they had that would take you to this kind of warehouse, which sounds sketchy, but it's not. And it was kind of a launch party area for Black 2 White 2 at the time. And so I was fresh into my game, and there was a guy that was there in Nintendo New York, and he was like, "Hey, do you want an exclusive Pokemon?" And I was like, "Yeah." Granted, fresh. Again, I'm starting my fresh file. I don't have any Pokemon anymore. So I was just like, yeah, I'll trade with you and whatever. And he gave me an event Keldeo from Japan.
Whoa.
And so I have a very strong core memory with Keldeo because I had it in the beginning of my Black 2 White 2 file and it was broken.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and so I've just had that forever. And then I remember going to this launch party and they gave me like a White 2 shirt because I had White 2, and it was like really, really fun. I was mingling with people. And that was like a pretty good like hanging out with the community moment, like how you were talking about. And so that was like one of my first like, oh my god, there's other people that play Pokemon. You know, because I was pretty much single player girly. You know, that was me the entire time. That was my first exposure to the community. But then I really got into the community with 6th Gen, which we'll transition to 6th generation with Pokemon X and Y and Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. This was huge. This was a huge turning point. I think a lot of people know this when YouTubers started coming into the scene. And at the time I was watching Shady Penguin with his like Wi-Fi battles and stuff. And so I was playing through X and Y. I ended up getting 2 Pokemon X's because Nintendo was giving away one of them for free or something. I forgot how I did it, but I had 2 copies. And so one of them was like my quote unquote Nuzlocke file. And then I was like building teams and stuff. And I was getting heavy into Nuzlocking at the time, which goes back to my shiny bear tick that I got earlier and stuff. And so I started really getting into like internet culture with Pokemon and battling and wonder trading at the time and all of that kind of stuff. So I wonder if our experiences were a little similar when it came to the community and just like
definitely a more explosive and I, you know, it's so interesting because I wish I could pinpoint when was the point that I don't know. I think the internet just not got better, but there were more resources. Whether it was just I mean, I don't know who created the first metas, but like, listen, shout out Aaron Zhang, who back in 2013, like I remember Aaron's first YouTube videos were like PowerPoint presentations of like, here's what EVs and IVs are, and like, here's how we talk about to train your Pokemon. Like it was very like you're in a classroom setting, and I mean, Aaron's videos have come so far, but like. You know, I was watching some of these like early YouTubers like before they all blew up. Oh my god, you know, whatever. But like, I guess what I mean is like I really found the communities early on, and so I watched some like Nuzlocke and stuff. But like for me, my core memories are like becoming a fan of the competitive scene and like the world. I think. The Hawaii World Championships, I think, were in 2013, so around that X and Y time, if I'm not mistaken. But I remember like cheering people on because it was one of the first like live streams that we also got for the World Championships. I mean, I think there are live streams and other people's recordings of the earlier ones that existed, but for me, I found the first live. Like I found the first live stream of like, here's the World Champions, you know, getting to win and stuff. So for me, that was like a big one.
That is really cool. Yeah, so you were getting heavy into like competitive and stuff.
And I was too scared. I was too scared to actually, even though I had gone to an event, I was like, now that I know, like once I learned I had done it all wrong or like, you know, like I didn't have the right preparation, I was like,
it's intimidating.
I don't want to fight people. I'm scared. So that I was just like, I'm going to be a cheerleader in the audience, and all the way until Gen 8 when I got confidence.
Yeah, I think I started watching a little bit of competitive and stuff like that too. I started really getting into like the New York scene because I was living in New York at the time. But like my pure love was Nuzlocking at the time because again I was someone who would hit new game all the time and do a bunch of new plays. So I'm like, I can play through the game with stakes and like you know, and go through the adventure and like be attached to Pokemon that I normally would not get attached to. I was so in love with that kind of concept. So I was very, very into Nuzlocking at the time. But then when Auras came out, Mega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, Mega Pokemon were a thing. And then I started really getting into competitive and stuff like that. I remember I made my first competitive team. And I had used Trick Room Mega Camerupt.
Whoa!
Yeah,
let's go.
Because people were saying, "Oh, if you're new to competitive, just use Trick Room. Trick Room wins." And I did not win, so that was super fun. But I got to meet like players that I really look up to. Like James Beck is a New York player, and so when I went to like a local in Brooklyn, so I had to travel to Brooklyn with my Trick Room camera up team, and I trained everybody. I had an Aegislash. I had, I breeded my Nummels, and I was really into it stuff. I was really into like I built that team from scratch. Granted, I got bodied, but I was breeding. I was doing the thing. It was awesome. And I think I still have my team to this day. I would have to look for it, but I still have it.
God.
And that's when I really got into. Granted, I wasn't good, but I felt like I still wanted to like show up and like try my best and stuff.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
Gen that's what it's all about.
Gen 6 was a turning point.
The start of the internet and everything becoming more popular.
Yeah, that is true. But then we headed to Gen 7, Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. This was when I started getting into content creation.
Mm-hmm. Me too, actually. Oh
really?
my god, we might have started Pokemon content creation around the same time.
Maybe.
Gen 7 was when I started Pokemon.
I started getting super into, but I was very reactionary at the time. So like my videos blew up, like, because they were doing update videos for Sun and Moon like every like month, like showing like new stuff. So it's like it's a new month, new reaction and stuff. And I remember specifically there was 2 videos: my reaction to Guzma and my reaction to Incineroar when they revealed like the evolutions of the starters. That those videos at the time, this is huge numbers. It got like 30,000 views. Like it was like big numbers, and I was just like, am I a YouTuber, you guys? I was like, what the heck? I was just like posting my reactions because I was really excited for Sun and Moon. So my reactions really put me like on the map, I guess you would say. But it was sad because I didn't have a capture card. I didn't have a DS capture card, so I never made a playthrough of my Sun and Moon game, which I have regrets for. But at the time, it was like the holidays and stuff like that, and I was working, and it was a whole bunch of factors. But I'm happy that I put my reactionary content out there. And then I started like doing playthroughs. Granted, it was like back then on emulators and stuff. I don't do that stuff anymore, but it was back in the day when you had to do what you had to in order to make it work. But Sun and Moon was pretty impressionable for like my content creation, career and stuff. I ended up getting into competitive still. I used I remember the team that I used, it was like a Tapu Lele and Bruxish Psychic Terrain. Yeah, Psychic Terrain team. Bruxish with Choice Band, Psychic Fangs, and Psychic Terrain is busted, okay?
Oh my god.
If you know, you know. I just wanted to use Bruxish because no one cared about it. People thought it was ugly and horrible. Me. I wanted to use Bruxish. And then the other team that I used the Eevee Evo Boost strat. Ooh. So it was you use the Eevee Z move, and Eevee would get a double Omni boost, and then you would Baton Pass.
Oh! It's all meant to be this moment. No way.
Yeah, I'm so
no
serious.
way.
I still have my team and whatever. It was good. Yeah, so I started getting
prophecy of what was to come.
I would Baton Pass my Eevee. It was crazy. It was crazy stuff. So yeah, what about you with Sun and Moon?
Oh my gosh. I mean, it's so cool. I love that Gen 7 for you was also a start to content creation. It definitely was for me. That's Gen 7 is when I learned up to shiny hunt for the first time. And to me, that's when I went from. So I've been creating content just on Twitch since 2015. So I was doing more variety games, like anything from Undertale. I did a Borderlands stream. Like I would do such random Gary's mod. Like I was doing pure variety, like way back then. And then when Sun and Moon came out is actually when I finally was able to get myself like a capture card and buy my capture card for the first time. I figured out, I saved like for half a year in the lead up to Sun and Moon. I was like, I'm going to get a capture card. So I bought a 2DS capture card and I said, I'm going to try out this whole streaming thing. And I would shiny hunt with my friends, like on my, I think my Sun and Moon Discord did exist. So I had Discord, and
Skype
I would just,
then.
I was used Skype before then, but I think when I started Sun and Moon Discord, I finally joined Discord because like I had some friends who were very early Discord adopters who were like, Steph, get Discord. I'm like, but Skype's doing everything I wanted to do. Why should I update and change it or whatever?
Right.
And so until Skype became it is, Skype then became Skype. So Yeah, but I remember learning how to shiny hunt. My first shiny hunt was for Bagon using the SOS method. And I got it
Ooh.
in exactly 100 encounters is when I got my shiny Bagon, which actually no
Wow.
charm is kind of fire.
That's
Like it's
huge.
kind of great odds.
What do you mean you
I,
didn't
I
get the Salamence? You didn't get the rare Salamence, the level 7 Salamence or
no,
whatever?
I don't want that. It's okay. I don't need that. It's so funny, but yeah, I think that's when I went from like variety streamer to I love streaming Pokemon, and then I would just like shiny hunt for like the next year straight, and I would just like
Wow.
shiny hunt. Like I at one point I had a Shiny Dex like website, where I was like keeping
Yeah.
track of all honestly, if I go back to my page, it's probably from my peak 2017 through 2019 era of
Nice.
shiny hunting, but
So you had like a whole list. You had like a spreadsheet. Like
yeah,
good to
yeah.
go. Wow. That's
And
really
then I
cool.
stopped keeping track of everything, so then it died. But I think that's my Gen 7 experience also, is that's my shiny hunting era that was playing
Hmm.
through Alola and continuing to do all the same things that I
Unrelated,
do
but that
now.
story messed me up. The whole stuff with Lusamine, seeing those
Oh,
Pokemon
I know,
encased in
it's
like the
so
ice
good.
stuff. I was like
Yep,
sitting there. I was,
yep,
it was, I think it was Black Friday when when I
yeah,
got to that point, and I was with my family in Virginia,
yeah.
and I was like, I was just in a separate room, like everyone was like mingling downstairs, and I'm just sitting here like, this is horrible. I was like, oh
Yeah,
my gosh, this was so crazy. But
yeah.
yeah, Sun and Moon was a very good time, very impressionable in our lives. Look at us.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. Very cool. And then we had,
Yeah.
well, technically, Let's Go was also Gen 7. Pokemon Let's
Oh,
Go,
wow, you're right.
Pikachu and Eevee. I think
Yep,
that was also Gen 7.
yep.
And that's when I got my start to shiny hunting. At this point, I had moved to
Mm,
California to
yeah.
chase my dreams and that kind of stuff.
Oh,
But then I started getting into shiny hunting for real in Let's Go. The Let's Go era was when I
oh,
was
cool.
heavy into it. And then Gen 8 came out, and then the rest was
Yep.
history there.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh
so
my God.
Sun and Moon, man. That was, or Sun and Moon, Sword and Shield. Sword and
Yep.
Shield was a big one for me. That was when I really got into shiny hunting. I really blew up on Twitch, and
Yes.
it was
Content creation
yeah.
arc to the
It's
fullest.
crazy. Like
Ah!
who would have thought like the little me who's terrified over Yuxi and Suicune back in the day would be like streaming and looking for shiny
Yeah.
Pokemon and stuff. Especially with Nuzlocking and just playthroughs being my
Yeah.
roots. Like going into shiny hunter was very weird, but I was very obsessed with it at the time.
Yeah.
I still kind of am. I do have my moments. Like how in GoTour I really wanted this Furfrou.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, Sword and Shield was really what really put me on the map. I started making content. I started doing like the draft battles. If you remember the draft battles
Yes.
and
I did
stuff.
Draft League and Sword and Shield too.
Yup, that was
Yes.
fun. I started getting into battling a lot, shiny hunting a lot, and it was good stuff. Getting into the community, I started
Oh.
watching like tournaments and stuff. I actually started watching tournaments during Sun and Moon because I was actually
Yeah.
participating in it, actively
Yeah.
getting into it. But yeah, I was heavy into the competitive scene. It
How do
was
we get
good.
you back? How
To
do we get you back to
VGC?
compete? Yeah.
I don't know.
What?
I don't want to see Urshifu ever.
Oh.
I don't
Maybe
wanna-
if we get a new gen, maybe just
They-
I think the best time is right
In
at
the
the start of a
beginning.
new gen.
In
Yeah.
the beginning, especially, I mean, that's what I would usually do. So in Oras, that was Trick
Yeah.
Room Mega Camerupt. In Sun and Moon, in the beginning, it was
Yeah.
Eevee Evo Boost. So
Yeah.
I was heavy into that. And then Sword and Shield, I did dabble. I forgot what team I made. Oh God, I remember my wife being like super into it. I remember breeding a Excadrill, like a good Excadrill for
Yeah.
her because Excadrill was really good at the time.
Yeah.
I breeded I got a Friend Guard Clefairy. I was breeding for a
Ooh.
Friend Guard Clefairy.
Yeah.
I ended up getting shiny Cleffa, which is so funny.
Oh
Like,
my
so that was my
gosh.
first shiny in Sword and Shield was shiny Cleffa because I was trying to breed for competitive.
Nice.
So it was cool. Yeah, it was good stuff. I think the beginning of a gen is when you really start to dabble into competitive. But
Yeah.
then when it starts getting like into the legendaries, that's when I turn myself off from it. I'm like, okay, I don't care.
All the restricted format. Well, it's
Yeah.
nice. It's nice when everybody doesn't know what the meta is yet.
Yes.
So it's the least intimidating because no one knows what they're doing yet.
Right.
Nobody knows what's gonna work yet, and so everything is shifting really quickly, which also makes it just like do what you want, have fun.
That's what I'm saying.
Know?
I remember in the beginning of like Scarlet and Violet when like Meowscarada was running around and just using a flower trick on everything, and you just win. And then people started figuring out Tatsugiri Dondozo, and then we all got sad. But yeah, Meowscarada was like running around. It was such a good time. I need to go back to like Regulation.
You know what's crazy? Lockdown kind of happened during Sword and Shield.
That's
time.
true.
So I think for me, a big core memory. I mean, definitely when I started to do competitive again, like rental teams changed everything for me and made me feel like, oh, I can just try this, and it's not as scary as like having to breed for everything myself, and I could learn that a little bit more slowly along the way, but. Yeah, I think just it being the lockdown game, a lot. I mean, we had Animal Crossing, of course, but you had Animal Crossing and Sword and
Pokemon.
Shield.
Yeah,
you had both.
That's when I got my shiny Authentic Synesty. That's when I got that. It was during lockdown
wow.
time.
Oh my gosh.
That's also what put me on the map. I had a Kotaku article written about me because I got the Synesty and stuff that now getting Authentic Synesty is super easy in Scarlet and Violet, but back then it was hard mode. It was hard mode legit, and it was fun.
Wow.
So Sword and Shield is very impressionable. It is truly, I will say, out of all the generations, that is truly my peak cozy game. Yeah, I can replay Sword and Shield infinitely and not get bored. And people say that that's like the most boring generation and stuff like that in terms of story. Some people say that, I just hear those phrases get put around, but I can truly play that game forever. I love that. I love Sword and Shield so much. It's like one of my favorite generations, contrary to belief. As someone who was very impressionable during Johto and Hoenn times, so it was good
my gosh, wow. And then I guess to wrap things up, Gen 9, huh? Gen 9, I mean, that's so fresh, so I feel like do you have a core memory from Scarlet and Violet, your first playthrough?
Well,
you might need more time to cook. I might need more time to be cooking.
That was actually, I will say, that is my first playthrough truly where I battled with a starter that I didn't evolve. Yeah, I did not evolve Fuecoco. So that was the first time I ever did that. And that was truly one of the gens where I was like, you can truly play Pokemon with any Pokemon and you can still win and make it to the end and stuff. You do not need to have the most busted team ever. We also didn't talk about Legends, but Legends Arceus was also pretty impressionable on me too. Yeah. True. That was another one of those games where it's like I played with Pokemon I wanted and Pokemon that I didn't normally would choose. So like in Legends Arceus, I had a Carnivine on my team. Wow. I never used that before, but like I try to use Legends games and remakes as an excuse to use Pokemon I never used before. Yeah. So that's what I do. And then for new games, I'm like, if you fit a vibe and if you evolve and I don't like you, I think I'm gonna keep you baby and we're just gonna rock with it and see how it goes. So Scarlet and Violet really taught me that. It wasn't my favorite games for shiny hunting, and unfortunately that did burn me out. So it is one of my second tragic story is that like that truly burnt me out from shiny hunting. But Legends ZA really brought me back into the love of it and stuff. So it's very fun. But Scarlet and Violet is very much a mixed bag for me. Because a lot of people knew me for shiny hunting, so I felt like the obligation that I had to. Yeah. And I truly could not play the game at the time without getting motion sick. I got motion sick playing, and so I just felt so discouraged. But then, I had Legends Arceus and now Legends ZA, and so I think I'm back into the swing of things. Hopefully, if we get Gen 10 this year, it will be immaculate and amazing and no motion sickness ever. Yeah. So we'll see. But how was I feel like you do a lot of battling in Scarlet and Violet a lot. I feel like you've really dabbled into the competitive scene. You know what? I started going to my first in-person events because the world opened back up by the time we got Scarlet and Violet. So that has been so fun. I think just within my first playthrough, core memory would be I wanted to fight the Titan Pokemon under leveled because I didn't want to grind, and so I beat Tatsugiri Dondozo, that Titan. Titan, which that was a fun surprise. But
I did that like 15 levels under leveled and it was hard, but I did it. And everyone was like, Steph, just grind. And I was like, no, I don't want to grind. I would rather reset the game, reset the battle, and do it multiple times under leveled because that's just fun. I had a blast.
I got hardwalled at Mela, actually. From Team Star. I got hardwalled by her. Yeah. And I was just like, do I have to like grind? Like, again, as a grown adult who's played these games for like over 30 years, I'm just like, I have to train. I was like, what? This is crazy. So
I did things in the wrong order on purpose. Like I fought Iono first because I was like, because I can. And so I did it. I was just under leveled for everything, but it was really fun. And then I did get walled by a couple of the Team Star bosses. I think I tried to do the last one first, and I was like, I can't do this. It's impossible.
I was very timid because, again, they were like, they were advertising it as you can go in whichever order and whatever. But I felt very timid, so I was like, okay, I have a fire starter. Here's this bug gym leader. I'm going to do her first. And then, and then it was like, here's this grass guy. Unironically, I was going in the correct order. I didn't even look anything up. I was just let's just do this guy, I guess. I was very timid about it. I ended up profiting from it. It was great.
You went the right. Yeah, it's interesting because they said it was open world, but really there is a order you have to do, or you're just because the level. It would have been so cool if they added level scaling. That would have been sick. That would have been so cool.
That is the first game that made me, first Pokemon game that made me cry like on stream. Because of the whole Arvin story and when I found out about that. Oh my God. So I have the video on YouTube somewhere, but if you watch it, I was like, I didn't expect it. And I was like, oh my God. I had to hide my face. I was like, I cannot believe I'm crying on stream right now. It was crazy. Scarlet and Violet's story is easily top 3 favorite. I just wish that it was optimized a little better. Granted, on Switch 2, it's a lot better. But
it needed more time in QA, unfortunately. Like, I feel the same. It's one of my top Pokemon games in top 5 for sure. And yet, on launch, it was rough. Maybe I talked about this on a podcast before, but I had the E4 music glitch in my first playthrough.
Oh, that's awful.
So I was a little like, what's happening? Going on? Yeah. I was like, it's been really eerie because like it was just the same loop before the chorus drop. So I was like, wow, they're building it up. I thought it was intentional until I'm at the champion. I'm like, it's still doing that. That seems wrong.
I didn't get the glitch, and there was a lot of people in my chat that was like, oh, thank goodness. And I was just like, what are you guys talking about? Like,
I wish I kept my VOD because I maybe I'm not sure, but this was before I started keeping my VODs on YouTube, so I don't know if I have it still, but it's wild.
To wrap up, Steph, what is your favorite generation of Pokemon so far before Gen 10 takes over your life?
Oh, possibly. Great question.
What is your favorite? What is the pivotal, this is it?
Oh, man.
Because it was all impressionable. You had your childhood memories, but then you also have your content creation turnout.
Yeah. I'm going to go having a nostalgia buff because we're in Pokemon 30. Gen 4. I think just all of Gen 4. I've had so many good memories. I like the mechanics, the music. Like, we could have a whole separate podcast about a review of it. I'm team Gen 4. What about you?
I would say Gen 5. And it was because I had the blank slate. And the blank slate has the Pokemon that I have now to this day. They're all in Pokemon Home. Like, I have events, I have everything, and it's all safe. It's all safe and not being stolen ever. So as much as I would love to give the nostalgia buff the win, Gen 5 really solidified my Pokemon collection, my memories, and I love Gen 5. Like, that's the greatest story. Personally, it's great. It's good stuff.
I'm so glad we did this. Oh my gosh, what a good memory lane adventure for the 30th year anniversary. Happy Pokemon Day, everybody.
And Pokemon honestly made us make this podcast, because without Pokemon, we would not have met each other. And without Pokemon, this podcast probably wouldn't exist.
I know. I think our ongoing meme is that Baton Pass is not a Pokemon podcast, but low-key kind of is. Like, if you know, you know. But like, our goal was not to make it a Pokemon podcast. It's about us, but who would have thought? We're both obsessed with Pokemon, which means there's a lot of Pokemon in the podcast.
Who would have thought? Happy 30th anniversary,
Happy 30th, and of course, big thank you to our Patreon supporters, as always, who help make this podcast possible. We appreciate you. Fun stuff coming soon, as always. V, any final words?
I really hope Gen 10 is a thing, and I hope you guys enjoy Fire Red Leaf Green, everybody. Woo! It was fun. Hope you guys have a great weekend. And we'll see you next time, y'all.
See you next time. Bye!